Hello and welcome back to Asia Now. In this video, I'll tell you about a 76-year-old American man who's been living at the airport in NAIA in Manila for over 3 weeks. Couple's vacation turns into a nightmare in Thailand, and over 450 people arrested in the Philippines, most of them being foreigners, as well as 5 bosses of the Philippine offshore gaming operations. So in this video, we're going to do something a bit different, cover only 3 stories, but a little bit more in depth. Here's our top story. A 76-year-old U.S. citizen has been staying at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport, Terminal 3, for several weeks now, just living on food handouts. The man from Texas refused to be interviewed on camera, naturally, I bet, but told ABS News that he prefers to stay at the airport because hotels are expensive. He said that he initially stayed at the hotel across the airport, but only for a few days. He decided to stay at the airport after. Based on initial information, the man arrived to Manila from Bangkok via Thai Airways last January 31st. He didn't disclose the purpose of his visit. He only said that he was supposed to travel to the province, but his plans did not push through. During his stay, he allegedly slept on benches and even on the pavement. He received food from airport staff and even some passengers who would offer him meals. He mentioned that someone stole his cash and his watch, but that he still has some money. One of the airport staff said that the man was always quiet and did not really bother other passengers. However, there was a time he reportedly defecated with his pants on. He was immediately assisted to bathe and was sent to be seen by a medical professional. The U.S. citizen said he is now waiting for his flight out of Manila, bound for Bangkok next week. Manila International Airport Authority's General Manager Eric Innes said he has ordered the airport police to inform the U.S. Embassy of this case. The Bureau of Immigration, meanwhile, said the case is not yet under its jurisdiction unless the man has overstayed his visa. Come on, man, what is going on out here? Let me just kind of put it out there that I have full sympathy with anybody that wants to save money, is older, and this kind of really highlights a few different key factors. Number one, the generosity of the Filipino people, the staff, the airport people that are actually helping out. However, it kind of does highlight the fact, where is security? Where is the management? It really definitely does not show any kind of, I don't know. I thought NAIA was supposed to be under new management. How do you let somebody stay there for 3 weeks shitting himself? And yeah, I get he's older and all that. But let me backtrack a little bit. Like, you can't even enter NAIA without showing your passport, your ticket, and they make it so strict and hard for people to get in there that want to say goodbye to their families, like local Filipinos, which is the other thing. It really shows preference to foreigners. An American man seems to be getting special treatment. That's nothing new in the Philippines. It happens quite often for foreigners, celebrities, whoever. But aside from that, like, it just doesn't seem right if you can just stay at the airport for 3 weeks. This guy's been watching too many movies of Tom Hanks, maybe. But all jokes aside, yeah, it doesn't really sit well with me. I don't think you just choose to stay at the airport. I don't think it's fair just because you want to save money because of hotel. One more thing. This is my theory, but I'll put money on this. I have a feeling he was probably talking to a local girl that lives in the province who he's been sending money to, most likely. And when the time came for her to actually meet him, she ghosted him, she dipped. She didn't meet him at the airport, so he had nothing else to do for 3 weeks. He's like, I might as well wait for my flight back to Manila, or back to Bangkok, I should say. So hotel was a bit too expensive, so he decided to stay at the airport. Now, one more thing. If you're older, 76 years old, please, guys, Stop messing around with younger women that have nothing to do with you except for your money. Get someone that loves you. There's a lot of women in the Philippines that genuinely want to be with you. Find a true connection. Make multiple dates. Don't come here specifically for one individual. Come here to live your life. Come here to explore, see the beaches, the culture, everything. And then along the way, hopefully you get to meet that special someone. And if you want to come all the way across the world to meet somebody, make sure that they are legit somehow. Honestly, get their address information, get their contact information. Have a backup plan in case they don't show up, right? So I'm not saying 100% this is what happened, but my point is, our next story, or one of the stories in today's video, is going to cover the scam hubs, right? Love scams. It happens quite often. This might as well be directly the result of somebody like that, somebody working in a scam hub and luring this gentleman into coming to the Philippines in Manila and essentially not showing up after extracting money from her. There's a lot of different angles, as an older gentleman, you got to be a bit more wiser than this. Hopefully, if you don't have enough money for $20 a night at airport in Manila, in the city, don't come here, man. The Philippines has some very affordable accommodations, right? So anyways, I don't want to judge him for that, but I also don't want to excuse behavior where we're kind of promoting, mismanagement of one's finances or putting the strain on local staff from Manila Airport. The airport has a very bad reputation as it is. We don't need people like him to make it worse. So leave your thoughts down below. What do you think of this whole situation? Do you think the man has the right to stay over 3 weeks at the airport, just living on benches, doo-dooing his pants, and just getting food handouts from people? Do you think it's fine because he's not really bothering anybody? Anything you want to share, all sides are welcome. Leave your comments down below. Here's our next story. Next up, a British couple's anniversary celebration in Thailand took a tragic turn when the husband fell seriously ill. What was meant to be a memorable holiday quickly turned into a medical emergency. As he was rushed to a local hospital, the family is now facing mounting medical bills, sparking a plea for financial help from loved ones back in the UK. Family seeks help as medical costs soar. The couple's family has launched a crowdfunding campaign to cover the unexpected medical expenses, highlighting the importance of travel insurance and the risks of overseas medical emergencies. The heart-wrenching situation serves as a reminder to travelers to be prepared for unforeseen circumstances while abroad. Once again, multiple different angles. Buddy, what are you doing? Where's your medical and travel insurance? This is one of the first things that tell you, you're not young enough. You guys are older. You can't be taking these kind of risks. You know, if a guy in his 20s maybe can go ahead and say, yeah, I'm gonna be all right, because he might have family, parents, somebody supporting him. But if you're like a seasoned person like these two are, you got to be a bit more responsible. Now you're putting a strain on your family back home, and you got to have some kind of coverage. You don't know what can happen to you. Once again, please make the right decisions. Set aside a couple $100 during your trip, man. It's going to be well worth it. If you don't use it, who cares? Consider it as cost of travel, right? Build that into your travel plan and into your travel costs. You got to, because this happens quite often now. It seems on a weekly basis. It's got to stop, man. You got to be a bit more like, we can't keep supporting stuff like this, having GoFundMe, crowdfunding. I don't want to be insensitive. I don't want to like obviously shit on people in hospital. I hope they recover. I hope they don't fall into financial burden even more. But we have to start taking some accountability for some of the stuff we do out here. Next up, Philippines police arrest over 450 in a Chinese-run scam center raid. In Manila, police arrested more than 450 people in a raid on allegedly Chinese-run offshore gaming operator in Manila, the country's anti-organized crime commission has said. Initial interrogation suggested the suburb site had been operating a scam center, targeting victims in China and India with sports betting and investment schemes, and commission said after the Thursday raid, which saw 137 Chinese nationals detained, quote, "We arrested around 5 Chinese bosses," end quote. Commission Chief Gilberto Cruz told on Friday that adding they face potential trafficking charges banned by President Ferdinand Marcos last year. Philippine online gaming operators, or POGOs, are said to be used as cover by organized crime groups for trafficking, money laundering, online fraud, and taking people against their will and even ending them. Quote, "This raid proved that the previous POGO workers are still trying to continue their scamming activities despite the ban," Cruz said. He previously told AFP that about 21,000 Chinese nationals have continued to operate smaller scale operations in the country since the online gaming ban. International concern has grown in recent years over similar scam operations in other Asian nations that are often staffed by trafficking victims, tricked or coerced into promoting bogus crypto investments and other cons. President Marcos has put POGOs at the center of the recent campaign messaging in the run-up to May midterm elections, framing the previous administration, Rodrigo Duterte's allegedly tolerance of the site as evidence of too cozy relationship with China. Thursday's raid is the latest in a series of busts this year, including one in January that saw around 400 foreigners arrested in the capital, including many Chinese nationals. The Washington-based think tank United States Institute of Peace said in May 2024 reported that online scammers target millions of victims around the world and rake in an annual revenue of $64 billion. Whoa. So over 450 people arrested on just one raid goes to show you the actual depth that these POGOs scam hubs go. And this is just one of many. And this is just specifically crypto and other like betting schemes. There's a lot more when it comes to dating, online relationships, and bogus love scams. It's very simple. All they do, get a bunch of people, whether women or men, pretend to be girls online and show interest in you and love. And they can even basically these days fake video calls, voice calls. They have all kinds of AI apps and messaging systems that can go ahead and fish money out of you. If you're watching this, if you're not in the Philippines, if you've never met the woman in person, I would highly recommend against sending any kind of money. Even small amounts, anywhere from $20 to $100 to $1,000 a month, just don't do it, because you don't know if it's actually the woman you're talking to. You don't know if the person actually loves you. So this could be one of the situations where the first gentleman, the American guy, maybe is a possibility. Of course, I'm assuming here, but if I had to bet my money, there's no other reason why a 76-year-old would be going to the province randomly and cancel his plans. It's a very obvious thing that happens commonly in the Philippines and Thailand and other parts of Asia, where men get lured by younger, attractive women and basically lies about being in love with them, eventually draining as much money as possible from them and not meeting them in person when the time comes. Those were the 3 stories today. Leave your thoughts down below regarding any of the 3. And now it's time for a segment yesterday today where I read some of the most popular comments regarding our previous video. Roger Wilco said, intervening in anyone else's dispute in the Philippines is like having a death wish. I learned very early on here, if you see or hear an argument, head swiftly in the opposite direction. Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to say not to get involved when you're living in that community. And obviously, for me personally, if I see a dispute, I try to resolve it, even if I'm not involved. I know maybe it's not the right thing to do. This person, honestly, probably thought he was helping try to like de-escalate a situation that just ended really badly for 2 people. Navy Texan says, I personally love the Philippines and have had nothing but positive interactions there for many years. Most of the foreigners I have seen having bad things happen are due to themselves. I have often been concerned of foreigners that find their way there and seem to have mental health issues or past criminal issues. I understand what you mean, because I feel the same way about Thailand, the Philippines. Pretty much any Asian country, Asians are typically very passive. They're not very aggressive people. Most, I would say over 95%, it's a random number, of the time where something bad happens because the foreigner has instigated, initiated, or done something bad, mostly due to substances or alcohol. So if you're out here, guys, just control what you're doing, because it can lead to stuff like yesterday's video where you might no longer be alive. Kurt Flirt 2 says, the Philippines has absolutely been a hot mess lately. What in the world? Yeah, the past week has been a crazy week for Philippines news and incidences like yesterday and today and others. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, you stuck around this long, you might be interested in these videos. So show some love, some support. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. And if you guys really want to show some extra love, go ahead and buy me a coffee. I've left a link in the description down below. And I put a QR code right here. Show some love. I'll have a coffee on you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Predator. No, Jesus Christ. Framing predators. I can never say that word. Framing predator. Okay. That's one English word I can't say, Paul. Framing predators. Framing predators. I can't say it. Possible. Can you say it, Paul? Can you say predator? 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 Framing predator. Jesus. I found a word I can't say. I gotta copy and paste this shit.
Predecessor. Predecessor.
Predecessor. What the fuck? Predecessor. Predecessor.
Predecessor.
Predecessor.
Predecessor.
Predecessor. Predecessor. Predecessor. What the fuck? Predecessor. What is happening?
Predecessor.
Predecessor. Predecessor.
Predecessor.
Predecessor. Predecessor. Okay. Predecessor. That sounds fucked up now, doesn't it?